Hey guys! So, let's talk about Twilight Princess HD. Now, it's a really big deal to me, since it's my favorite Zelda game. It was actually the second Zelda game I played, not the first, so it's not complete, nostalgia, being the first game I played. However, I really do love a lot of things about it, and to see it be remade means a lot to me. Now, I've seen a lot of people complain about the, graphics. So, just to point this out, Twilight Princess HD seems to be getting a lot of texture reworking. They've gotten rid of some blurriness, and it does actually look like some models have gotten some work on them. We are still quite a few months out from actual release. If you look at Zant and Midna's headpieces especially, and compare it to Wolf Link for instance, you'll notice that there's not as much detail work done, which seems to indicate that they're not quite finished. So, what we've seen so far is not a final product, is my guess. We're going to see even more improvements. Now, getting that out of the way, let's start talking about some of the other changes that we do know about. So first off, it looks like it's based off of the GameCube controls, based on the fact that Link is left-handed. And then, the button layout, it shows the Wii U Pro Controller or gamepad layout, which would make sense. So it's probably based on the GameCube style of controls, which is good. That's my favorite version of them. The motion controls were tacked on. For those of you that don't know, Twilight Princess was supposed to be a GameCube only game. Late in development, they started working on the Phantom Hourglass, and Miyamoto really liked some of the creative things they were doing with the touchscreen controls, and he wanted to do something like that to Twilight Princess, and they happened to be working on the Wii, so they put in some of the motion control stuff, delayed it, and ported it to the Wii. They flipped the worlds, that way Link is right-handed, so it lines up with which hand the Wiimote's in, which doesn't make sense since it's just a waggle, but moving on from that. Other than that, it was only minor changes for the Wii version. It was a 16:9 resolution rather than a 4:3, so minor changes, but the aiming was better in the Wii version, sword fighting was better in the GameCube. There's a lot of back and forth on that. Personally, I prefer the GameCube version because I like more of the traditional controls rather than the waggle. It would have been a lot better if it had been Skyward Sword style, but that would require a huge rework of the game. Anyways, moving on. It looks to be mainly based on the GameCube version of the game. Now, the HUD looks very nice. I love the attention to detail and work that went into that. Now, the HUD itself looks like a final product, partially because it looks like they've reused possibly some of the HUD assets from Wind Waker HD. Either way, I love the look of the HUD so far. We also know that there's some form of amiibo support. We do not yet know what. They did mention other features and changes to the game, so we do know there's more coming. Now, let's address another big concern people have. A lot of people think it's not as updated as Wind Waker HD was. Now, there's a few things with Wind Waker HD. First off, Wind Waker HD happened to look really great using Zelda Wii U's lighting system, so they just used that. So that lighting system was not developed for Wind Waker HD. It was developed for Zelda Wii U. That's why it's such a good lighting system. It was an experimental build for Zelda Wii U. So that's part of that. The other thing is that people keep on bringing up is they updated the character models. Now, I've looked at them, and it's some changes to them. They're not as drastic as some people seem to think. But the obvious point is, the Wind Waker character models are way simpler than the Twilight Princess ones. I mean, just look at, Link there and Zelda. They're a lot simpler, which makes it easier to touch them up. The amount of detail already in the Twilight Princess ones, so great, that to, really touch it up and refine it would be a lot of work. It will look weird if they only did, Link, Zelda, Midna, Zant, and then left everyone else, regular. That would look just kind of weird. So it makes sense that they're not going to do remodeling. Plus the fact that if they did crazy remodeling on them, the world would look weird. We already know that they're doing extensive texture work, which I think will really make the game look much better after they're done with that. The other obvious thing is, like Wind Waker HD, they could do a lot of work to the skybox, which made Wind Waker HD look even more amazing. So that was like a huge change. It was a huge change in the final product, but not as much work. So I hope they do more of that type of thing, where it's less work for them, but it improves the final product drastically. Now, moving on from, like, hardware, graphics, or any of that, Wind Waker HD did not receive any story changes. They touched up some of the, side quests, well, not side quests, but they touched up some of the quests, like the Triforce quest, consolidated it, made it make a little bit more sense. But the overall story did not change. So the case will be the same, at least that's my guess, for Twilight Princess HD. The story will remain the same. Which, honestly, is kind of unfortunate in my opinion, because even though it's my favorite Zelda game, there are still problems with it. Namely, Zant. He started off as this really cool character, and it looked like they were going to do great things with him. And then he literally went insane from the final boss battle and Ganondorf. So if they could smooth that out a little bit more, maybe make him slowly go insane over the course of the game, that would be amazing. Now, I don't think they'll touch the story, but that's kind of my wish list. Just make that more gradual, not as sudden. Just keep on hitting at it, then maybe have, like, him just snap at the end there. So you actually, like, see it instead of him just having lost it. They could do some cool stuff with that, but once again, I doubt they'll touch it. Gameplay-wise, I really hope that they, first off, get rid of not notifications, but you picked up the blue ruby, it's worth 5 every time you load up the game. If they could get rid of that, that would be nice. Putting the rupees back was kind of annoying. I can see what they were trying to do, but at the same time, when you open a chest with 10 rupees and they don't fit and you put them back, it's kind of stupid. Maybe only with the big ones like the orange or silver, that would be good. I would be completely fine with that bit. The other obvious point is, what are you doing with all these rupees? Maybe if they could figure out some additional things to do with them, it would be that much better. So that way you don't just have them sitting around. The other thing with rupees is the entire Soul side quest. Now, at the end of that, you just get 200 rupees infinitely. Once again, what are you going to do with rupees? Maybe if they reworked it so you get like more like the rewards from Ocarina of Time, which still had its own problems, but it was like incremental. For this amount, you get this reward. For this amount, you get that reward. Just a little bit more of that rather than, 20's a bottle, then 60's unlimited rupees. Just make that quest more meaningful. Because after I finished it once, I only ever went to 20, and I never went back for 60 again. So, hopefully they could rework that. We'll see. What else needed work? It is my favorite game, so it's harder for me to really see some of like the critical flaws like that. But another big thing I can think of is a hero mode. So, there's a few things that they could do with that. They could do like, what was it? Ocarina of Time in Wind Waker. No heart drops, double damage. I think Ocarina of Time did that. Ocarina of Time 3D. Just to clarify. I think both of those, both definitely did double damage. Wind Waker HD definitely did no heart drops. So they could go that route. Skyward Sword, I believe, also did the double damage, no heart drops. Unless you got an item that added heart drops. So maybe they could do that type of thing. The other option would be to go A Link Between Worlds style. Quadruple damage, but hearts drop. Just, I believe it was less frequently. Which would be rather cool. Now, having some sort of customizable, there we go, customizable hero mode will be cool. So you could say, like, I want double damage, or I want quadruple damage. Or you could say, I want no heart drops, or I want less frequent heart drops. If they did that type of thing, that would be cool. Or they could do things like fairies and potions don't heal as much, or they're more expensive and harder to get. They could really do some really cool things like that that would add really just layers of difficulty onto the game. I'm really looking forward to just what they're going to do with it. Now, I don't know when we're going to get more information. Obviously, it'll be before March 4th. They probably won't mention anything till after the holidays, though. But maybe a January Direct? I don't know. Either way, I cannot look forward to it. That's not right. I cannot wait for Twilight Princess HD. It is currently one of my most anticipated games right now. It definitely shot way up the list the second it was confirmed. I cannot wait enough for it. Now, if you guys can think of anything else you would like to see changed, or if I said anything wrong about, like, the updates they have made, or you disagree with my opinion of the graphical changes or whatever, you guys can have a discussion down in the comments below. I might join in. Well, I probably will. But either way, I cannot look... I did it again! I cannot wait for Twilight Princess HD. And I'll see all of you guys in my Twilight Princess playthrough, March 4th or 5th, whenever it comes out. So I'll see all of you guys later. Bye!